Now, Pakistan is in for a terror inning in politics. Yes, Hafiz Saeed, the Lashkar-e-Toiba head, has now fielded his son, Tahla, for the general election that takes place in February next year, 2024 in Pakistan. This is not the first time that Hafiz Saeed, who has been jailed for 31 years for terror financing and the 2611 mastermind, is contesting the Pakistani elections. Last time around, his Milli Muslim League had aligned with the Imran Khan government in coalition to rule Pakistan. This time around, he has gone a step further and allowed for his son Talha to fight the election. The question here arises is, why is there a pin drop silence from across the globe with this heinous action that is happening in Pakistan? Why is it that there is no condemnation coming in from America, from Europe, from the United Nations, that itself has designated the Lashkar-e-Toiba commander Hafiz Saeed as a global terrorist? And what is going to come of Pakistan if a terrorist and his son end up ruling the political scene of the rogue state that is Pakistan? Let's start off this conversation. Joining me on the telecast is Wing Commander S. Sudhakaran. Wing Commander, quickly a response from you with regards to the complete disregard for rules, complete disregard for the candidature validity, candidature rules that need to be complied by a particular individual to fight elections in Pakistan, and let alone whether there is complicity in giving those rules a fulfillment. What is happening over here is that there is a terrorist, Lashkar-e-Toiba commander Hafiz Saeed, who is now contesting the elections for the second term around. Not only is he contesting the elections from sitting inside jail, but he is now fielded his son to fight the general election. And my biggest question being, why is the world silent on this? Ambassador Suresh Goyal, would you like to take this question? You'll have to unmute yourself, sir.
Got it. All right. Thank you very much, Megha. My apologies for the delay in unmuting. Two or three things. In your introduction to the subject, you said against the rules. One, and the other thing is, why is the world not saying anything at all about this? Number one, whether it is against the rules or not, I'm not quite sure. I'm not saying ethically and morally it is right or wrong, but whether it is against the rules, because I believe the party which is contesting the elections, PMML, is actually led by the son of Hafiz Saeed, who is not on the list. And therefore, technically, in a legal sense, there is nothing that bars him from contesting the elections or leading the party. And I'm saying technically and legally, that is the position, and therefore, if he does so, he is contesting the elections, he comes in, number one. Number two, why is the world not saying anything at all on this? I think the world has to answer to what you are saying. And the world, by the world, I suppose you mean the powers that be in the world, like the USA, UK, Canada, who always take a moral point of view of such issues, and basically, like in the case of Bangladesh, even though Sheikh Hasina is the legitimate prime minister at the moment, and the elections will take place, the process is on, but the USA will not keep quiet about criticizing or trying to influence the elections there. Therefore, it is for them to respond, for them to take a view on this thing, even though I think morally and ethically they should take a view. They should be able to say to the world that it is wrong for a party to contest the elections which is actually led or which is actually influenced by the terrorist agenda, and that too where a person who is known to be an international terrorist, who is on the list of the United Nations, when he is involved, it is wrong. They should be able to say.
Right.
Last, to Megha, if you permit me, just one more thing. Uh, Speaking of the internal politics in Pakistan, it's a very critical move for this party to not join the elections. So far, according to all calculations, the major parties, the major contestants in the elections were either Imran Khan's party or Nawaz Sharif's party, that is PMLN and Awami League and PPP. And both parties have had rather doubtful past in terms of relationship with the military, with the army. Therefore, having a third contesting party come in the fray, which actually depends upon the army for their survival, could become a way for the army to really tell both, to put both the parties on notice, saying that either you do what I bid, or here I've got a third choice, which actually could become the party in power after the elections. So this is a very critical move, very important move, and I will not completely rule out the possibility of it happening with the support, with the tacit support of the army in Pakistan. Megha.
Major General A.K. Subhash. Now, at this point of time, it's been 15 years since the dastardly 26/11 attacks took place. There has been United Nations designation of Lashkar-e-Toiba and Hafiz Saeed as a global terrorist. America and India have designated Hafiz Saeed as a global terrorist. And while America was steadfast in its action against the Al-Qaeda terrorist over the 9/11 attacks, where there was a combat operation that was initiated then under Barack Obama's regime, and a targeted killing was ensured that led to the death of Osama bin Laden. Why has India been curbed to take a certain action when Pakistan has been unable to take any action or sentence Hafiz Saeed to a death row?
Very correct. You see, Megha, as far as Pakistan internal politics, I just thought I will tell 2-3 things. In 2018, Jamaat-e-Ud-Dawa wanted to fight election, but it was not recognized by the Election Commission, considering that it is an offshoot of Lashkar-e-Toba and it is a basically terrorist organization. At that time, Milli Muslim League, a political entity which was lying dormant, the election were fought by the Lashkar-e-Toba, Hafiz Saeed on that. Though they could not make that much impact, but remember 11% seats, 11% votes were taken by them. So they can be game changer. Now, since Milli Muslim League was also banned, now they have made another party, the same Markaja Muslim League, Pakistan Markaja Muslim League, that is PMML. Now they are fighting all the election on this. So therefore the point is, it is basically imprint of Jamaat-e-Ud-Dawa and Lashkar-e-Toba, and this will make the election very different, and the say of the army will increase after the election, because they will do whatever the army will tell. So as far as the Pakistan is concerned, Pakistan politics cannot go away from in fact from the terrorism. Today whatever you may say that Hafiz Saeed is behind the bar and he from 2019, but he still call a shot. Otherwise there is no question of Pakistan Markaja Muslim League to contest elections so openly.
Right.
Now the question which you have asked, as far as India is concerned, when certain terrorists have been now killed in Pakistan, there were some fingers which were raised toward India, where India has nothing to do with it. These have been killed by ISI itself, because ISI is feeling that they have become a liability. and now they are no more required. They are eliminating one after the other. But as far as US is concerned, it has a double standard. Now, when it comes to basically Osama bin Laden, they have killed it. They have killed al-Jawahiri. They have killed Major General Soleimani. That time they did not say anything. They killed them. One, they have killed them in Iraq. Another, they have killed in Afghanistan. One here, they have killed in Pakistan. And they raise finger on India that you are involved in eliminating those hardcore terrorists, whether these are Khalistani terrorists or whether it is Islamic terrorists. So therefore, there is no question. As far as India is concerned, India has taken a very, very firm stand. Once the Director FBI has come into India, the NIA has told them the problem with us is nothing else until unless you stop giving the space to these terrorists, especially Khalistani activists, both in USA and Canada.
Okay.
The matter cannot be achieved.
All right. Gautam, quickly getting you also into the conversation. What should India's action be here on, keeping in mind that there were so many people that were killed in the 26/11 attack? Our property was damaged. This was a global attack of a large scale that has taken place in India. It has taken 15 years for action to be taken against this mastermind who was sitting out of America, who was then designated as a terrorist and then asked for, and India had been time and again asking for his extradition. I'm talking about Taubur Rana, and that the extradition has also not happened. The deportation has also not happened. And on the other hand, we see that there is political activism that is taking place in wake of Lashkar-e-Toiba, then propping Hafiz Saeed's son as a possible candidate for the prime ministership in Pakistan. India's hands seem to be tied. Is there anything that India can do? That's the question that arises in the minds of the citizens and also must be by the government of India.
Well, we are trying to get them to cooperate. This is a decades-old activity with limited success. In certain areas and certain countries, we do get a response like the UAE, even Portugal. When it comes to the United States, they generally do not respond. Canada is taking advantage of that. Pakistan is taking advantage of that. And it is important to realize that since we do not have a forward policy like Israel and Mossad, who goes into whichever country and eliminates these people, as General Sawat just pointed out, they are eliminating various terrorists who are inimical to India, but it isn't India that is doing it, it's they themselves, because these people have outlived their usefulness. As the clout of India grows because of its geostrategic importance, it is possible that we will see greater cooperation. But at the moment, and these many years, even designating them international terrorists at the UN doesn't seem to do very much good on the ground. As you have pointed out, here is a man behind bars, a designated international terrorist, able to operate quite freely and protected by the state. His son is going to fight elections. The army, the Pakistan army may well be using these people as a cat's paw, and life goes on.
Yeah.
So I think it is up to India to ensure that at least within our borders, these people do not have the kind of sway they've had in the past. And to a large extent, over the last 10 years, it can certainly be said that there's very many fewer terrorist attacks in India, and especially random ones all over the country involving innocent people.
Okay.
So we have made progress.
Okay.
We have not made the kind of progress we would like to.
I mean, exactly. I mean, it's taken us 15 years and we've still not been able to do anything. And now there is a propping up of Hafiz Saeed and Lashkar-e-Toiba yet again into the elections. We were not able to do this in 2018 when Imran Khan came to power, and there was this tacit agreement that had been signed between Imran Khan's political party PPP and the Milli Muslim League, that they came in coalition to rule the country of Pakistan, but obviously a puppet government at the hands of the army and the ISI. And my next question to you, Sanjeev Srivastava, would be that what bigger and solid evidence can be given to the world, to the United Nations, to America, to point out that it is the Pakistani army, the Punjabi generals and the ISI who are working in collusion with Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Jamaat-ud-Dawa and Hafiz Saeed, who is operating his political party from behind bars.
Well, Megha, I think the evidence against Lashkar-e-Toiba, or their other names like Jamaat-ud-Dawa or Milli Muslim League, etc., is very much evident before the whole world. India has been giving them Pakistan evidences. Also, we have been sharing such intelligence reports to other countries of the world. And every nation of the world is aware about the kind of terror outfits they are. And whether it is you name it Lashkar-e-Toiba, or you call it Jamaat-ud-Dawa, Milli Muslim League, or Pakistan Markazai Muslim League, it is the same as the Milli Muslim League, and this should be banned, frankly. And if the countries of the world, those who are always advocate for fighting against terrorism and extremism, if they are serious about it, then they must criticize it. And this organization, the PMLL, the Pakistan Markazai Muslim League, must also be banned the similar way the kind of a treatment was given to Jamaat-ud-Dawa. That is the first point I'd like to make. And certainly the heavy criticism should be done to the Pakistani establishment. And also, I think there is now the time Pakistani Election Commission takes action against them, and they do not allowed to contest in this election. That will be the best step Pakistan Election Commission can take.
But all the practical terms, that is obviously not going to happen. We all know that is not going to be happening. Sanjeev Srivastava, heavy criticism is not going to stop Pakistan or Hafiz Saeed from contesting the elections. Names have been announced. His son is at this point in time being propped to be the next Prime Minister of Pakistan. That's the biggest joke, and the joke is on us, on India.
Well, Megha, the second point, you very rightly you said, and if such a terrorist, they become the Prime Minister candidate, this is a bad news for the entire region, for the world, but it is the saddest news for the people of Pakistan, I would say. And this is where I was coming to, that if you look at the ambition of the various terrorist organizations, those who are operating in Pakistan, they have become so ambitious that they want to rule Pakistan. If you look at the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan doesn't have any more intention only to carry out attacks and to have some influence in some pockets of Pakistan, but they want to impose a Sharia law in Pakistan. They want to rule Pakistan the similar way Taliban is ruling Afghanistan. And Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan is attacking the Pakistani establishment, particularly the Pakistani army.
There is no difference between how Taliban operates in Afghanistan and how the Pakistani army and the IF operate in Pakistan. Is there now in a situation such as this? You have ample evidence that I don't know if it's a tacit support that is being shown by the Pakistani army towards Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed and the other terrorist organizations. It's out in the open. I mean, the Pakistani army might want to say anything to defend itself, but here it is, solid evidence, strong evidence in your face, and that's exactly what is happening in Pakistan, and nobody can do anything about it, let alone India. And if we have certain tools to utilize to ensure that damage is done to Lashkar-e-Toiba, and can we actually operate America style and go and eliminate Hafiz Saeed in the soil of Pakistan, and what is going to be the impact of it? How is it that the world is going to react to it? Quickly getting in, Wing Commander Sudhakaran. Wing Commander Sudhakaran, you're not audible. There seems to be an audio problem with our connection. I'm going to come back to you. But again, Ambassador Goel, now Hafiz said we have been wanting for the Pakistanis to take strict action against him. It's not been taken. When we talk about Dawood Ibrahim, he has at this point in time been given safe havens. He works secretly out of Pakistan. What is our threshold? How long can we maintain our peace and patience with the kind of brazen audacity these people continue to roam on Pakistani streets and cause damage to India along our borders?
Megha, you recall that one international legally available recourse was putting Pakistan on the FATF list, blacklist, basically because of actions it was taking to support international terrorism from its soil. And one of them action was really supporting or giving shelter to these terrorists on the soil. And they include Hafiz Saeed, they include various other people of his kind. Dawood Ibrahim, who was against sheltering on their soil, and for some time Pakistan was actually on the grid. Pakistan promised that they will take action. They seem to have been able to convince most of the members in the FATF list, despite Indian protestations, that yes, they have taken action, and that there is no more international terrorists on the soil of Pakistan. One of which was actually, or rather, pretending to put the Hafiz Saeed behind bars, but he keeps on roaming the streets free. But when they have to say that, look, he's behind the bar, and therefore we have fulfilled all the possible requirements to take Pakistan out of the grey list. It has happened. And even though the other members, they know very well what actually the reality is, but because of their own political expediency, they have chosen to look the other way.
Right.
And they are not taking any other action. Therefore, I think we should not really try and do we should not be expecting too much from the international community in regard to what they can do about Pakistan. But as one of the panelists said, that we must secure our own security. We must make sure that these people are not able to indulge and act as a threat to Indian security, and the rest will have to live with. That's a problem.
Yeah.
A problem we just do not know what to do about, frankly.
Ms. General Sivach, how are we the fifth largest economy, a powerful middle nation when it comes to Asia and the subcontinent, the most powerful, and still not being able to do anything about this terrorism that emanates out of Pakistan, and particularly Lashkar-e-Toiba? Does it not then give the message out to the extremists and terrorists who want to cause harm to our country that, listen, 15 years ago, you do a 2611 and you are released unscathed, roaming the streets of Pakistan. So all you have to do is build your strategy and modus operandi in Pakistan, come to India, operate the nexus, allow for an attack to happen, kill dozens and dozens of people and go back to Pakistan. And nothing is going to harm you.
Absolutely, Megha. This is the strategy of Pakistan from years together. Breed India with 1,000 cuts. So they are thinking that terrorism is the biggest tool, and they have not stopped it. Remember that when we are thinking that Pakistan today is on the brink of civil war, their economic condition is bad, political instability, terrorism is increasing, and when they are under so much pressure internally that they will stop now sending terrorists to India. That's not happening. The reason is simple as that. Pakistan army will never allow a situation wherein the terrorists are not made use of. As on today, there are 4,000 to 5,000 Lashkar-e-Toiba jaise Mohammed terrorists which are fought in Afghanistan, battle hardened. They are sitting in POJK. 300 to 400 terrorists are sitting just opposite to Rajouri Poonch area. They are armed and equipped with a modern weapon like M4. So they are going to send it. Now the question comes, how do we respond? That is a very important. Do we keep on fighting once they come in, try to kill them, and thereafter we also buy some casualty which has happened, especially in recent operation in Rajouri Poonch. The terrain is so difficult, it is mountainous, it is forested, there are natural caves, and it gives them an advantage fighting in such an area. Now my question is simple, that we have to now punish the Pakistan army. We can't be reactive, we have to be proactive. So what we did after Uri, that is surgical strike, after Balakot, Pulwama, we did Balakot. Now we don't have to cross over. We have weapon system both in army and air force, that from here only you know the location of their launch pad and training areas. Eliminate those terrorists. We have a Rafale which has got a scalp
eliminate
missile.
the terrorists. How do we do so? We have waited for 15 years. How long do we wait? And Gautam Mukherjee, when like Major General Sivat said that, listen, we have conducted those surgical strikes, those aerial strikes. What is stopping us from neutralizing Hafiz Saeed?
Well, we have to look at the political fallout of something like that, because it is an international strike, whether it is done from our side of the border or not. So at the present moment, going into general elections, I see little or no chance of that unless a precipitation from the Pakistanis forces our hand, like it did in the last, just before the last elections. Now, if that does not happen, and this, tit for tat situation, now they're taking advantage basically of the forest areas, because they've been cleaned out of the valley and most of the populated areas. We are working on this, and I'm certain we'll find ways and means to deal with the forest areas as well. Pakistan is weakening all the time, whatever the attitude of their army may be. And that, in the long term, even in the medium term, is a definite advantage to India. Megha.
Quickly then, Sanjeev Srivastava, when America can strike Afghanistan, when America can come strike Pakistan and eliminate the Al-Qaeda chief, Osama bin Laden, and not face political fallout, not even face any condemnation or criticism from the rest of the world, why does India have to or expect to bear the brunt of it?
Well, I think India, this new India, under the leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, has a very clear view that we have to defend ourselves, no matter whoever supports us or not. And one lesson which we can learn from Israel in their war against terrorism, that despite all pressure, Israel is very much determined to decimate and destroy Hamas. And it's a matter of Israeli national security. Similarly, if matter comes to us like that, then all the options are on the table. I am very sure about it. And we have conducted already 2 strikes inside Pakistan. And in the many other ways, we can carry out another strike inside Pakistan. And that is a very clear option. And those options are very much there. And as I said, that this new India is having a zero tolerance approach against terrorism. And here, if you look at the number of incidents in the valley, it has drastically come down. And the top, operatives of whether Lashkar-e-Toiba or Jaish-e-Mohammed or the smaller, bigger, other terror outfits in the United Jihad Council, they have all been eliminated. And these terrorists are now adopting a very cowardly strategies to hide in the Poonch and Rajouri jungles, and from there they are operating. And
but once again, I would like to highlight that these are defensive acts that India and the Indian Army and the Jammu and Kashmir police are playing out to stop terrorism, to stop them on their heels. There is at this point a need for aggressiveness that needs to be shown by India. A fearless India, courageous India, a no holds barred India, and a no nonsense India that will give out a stern message not only to Pakistan but to the rest of the world to not mess with us.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.